talking about the differences in automotive oil and marine oil. And yes, there is additives in marine oil that is there for condensation, for moisture, for, all kinds of different things. I had some stuff pulled up here. So if I look at this, there is going to be a thing that I pulled up from Valvoline that I'm just going to kind of read some of the stuff that's in the bottom of it, just so to kind of put this out here.
This clip is brought to you by PartsView.com. Save money on all your boat or engine parts when you use the link and discount codes in the description below.
Most of the additives are for corrosion, oxidation, shear, and moisture. So those are 4 additives that Valvoline says that they use in their marine oil, which all the marine oils are going to do this as well. And also, these oils contain approximately 20% to 35% additives, whereas this percentage in automotive oils is between 10% to 20%. So you've got a potential of a 25% more additives in the marine oil than you do in the automotive oil. And again, those are for corrosion, oxidation, shear, moisture, high RPM. And then something that AMSOIL puts out there is AMSOIL says corrosion protection. Marine engines are constantly exposed to the corrosive effects of salt water or high humidity, which can cause rapid and severe damage. It contains special additives that protect against corrosion. Think moisture and condensation, because that's what creates corrosion, helping to extend the life of the engine and equipment. Therefore, your marine engine lasts longer than usual, then also improved water resistance. So this is from AMSOIL. AMSOIL says marine ships are exposed to water, which can contaminate conventional lubricants and reduce their effectiveness. AMSOIL marine oil is designed to resist water and maintain its lubricating properties even when exposed to moisture. Thus, it is essential to look for high-quality marine oil like AMSOIL for better water resistance or viscosity. So that's just from Valvoline. That's just from AMSOIL. They do put additives in there for moisture, condensation, corrosion protection, whatever you want to call it. What the exact chemicals are, I don't really know that, but we need to do an actual breakdown of the marine oils versus automotive oils. That would make a really good video. Have not had the time to put that together yet, but yeah, there's a big difference. Like I said, like Valvoline says, some of their automotive oil has 10% additives and the rest is just, synthetic oil or whatever. Whereas the marine can have up to 35% additives in it, which are to do that. And then also there are other factors in there outside of the temp ranges, and then the what do they call it, the RPM range. So from your car running 2,500 to 3,500 down the highway versus your outboard running 6,000 RPM. On top of that, there is also, I'm not exactly sure what the chemicals are, how they make the oil do it, but in a car, all of your cylinders, most of them are all horizontal. So you've got a horizontally run engine, which makes the lubricating of it way easier. Whereas an outboard is completely vertical. So you've got a whole nother aspect of lubrication that needs to be thought out, and the way it is lubricated, because it's vertical compared to horizontal, where all your cylinders are like this and all the oil is running down. Vertical, that oil will sit on that cylinder. It'll run down to the bottom of the cylinder. So they have thought about all this stuff, and they have made these detergents and these additives to completely change that. So yeah, I mean, there are specific additives that address that condensation factor, whether you call it condensation, moisture, corrosion, whatever. I mean, it's water. If you get, water in there, also the temperatures, when it runs really cool and really hot, because of where it's at in the moisture, the wet environment, if your engine is running, let's say that you've got a thermostat problem and the thermostat is stuck open and you are running in, say, 50-degree water, your engine's going to be running super cool. I mean, it could be running at 100 degrees, 110, that cool with the engine running, and the heat produced by the engine, it's going to create condensation. You can create condensation in the crankcase because of those cold temperatures. And I mean, Yamaha would call this a harsh environment or harsh conditions, and they would say that you need to change your oil every, say, 50 hours because of that factor. So you are getting contaminated oil based on this condensation that you could be producing. So depending on the water that you run in and the environment, outside air temp, stuff like that, they all have a factor in this problem, especially if you have cold water. So if you're running this cold water and you're getting condensation built up in the crankcase, you are diluting your oil with water, and without the 35% or all these additives that they put for condensation, whatever you want to call it, that combats that. Now, if you let your oil run for too long in this kind of environment, you're going to lose lubrication, and you could lock up an engine because it's not getting lubricated properly, and that's because of the water issue. So if you were to use an automotive oil under the right conditions on the engine that you're running the outboard in, if you use that automotive oil, you could break that oil down a lot quicker. And then also, if you have the condensation factor, you could wear out that oil and contaminate it so quick that you lose lubrication, and now you're running 6,000 RPM. You could break it down and blow up the engine pretty quickly, all from using the wrong type of oil. So 100%, if you're getting oil for your outboard, use marine grade, and all the marine oils are just going to have a rating. It's an FCW, FCW Cat, and an FCW 3. I'm pretty sure that's right. And the FCW is just pretty much for 4 strokes. FCW Cat is for like engines that have catalyst stuff or O2 sensor, stuff like that. That's for like modern engines. And then the FCW3 is 2-stroke engines. So make sure that you get a marine oil that has an FCW rating for your.
Now, if you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full episode over here, or you can watch another one over here.